Just giving a moment just to
I see the notification thing that we're live on Facebook.
yeah, I think we're good. Facebook is live. It is showing let's see. Sorry guys, hold on just a second here. New fun. All right, so what I am gonna do, because I think it'll be easier, is I'm just gonna remove I'm gonna stop video for some of y'all, and then you can draw and enjoy, and Josh's video then will be spotlighted. So we'll let that happen, and Josh, take it away.
Okay. Well, before we start drawing a kangaroo, I wanted to go over just a couple tips about drawing. I'm not sure how introduced some of you might be to drawing, how much experience you might have, but I just feel like these are really good introductory things to keep in mind. The first one is you're going to see me drawing pretty lightly to begin with. So sketching, you want to start out light, and then later on, whenever you're ready to finalize it a little more, come in with the darker lines, right? So we're going to start light. The other thing is to draw with your arm whenever you need to make like long, clean lines or nice curves or something like ellipses or circles. So you'll see what I mean if I just try drawing with my wrist a circle. It gets kind of wiggly, not a great amount of control there. But if I try to draw with my arm fairly quickly, it's a lot cleaner line. So whenever you're making longer lines like that, I'm not moving my elbow or my wrist very much at all. I'm really just moving my shoulder to make that line. Right. So those are the basics. Let's get started. Okay. Also, you might see this strange pencil I have. It's called a Blackwing. Has a nice flat eraser. And it's a brand new one, so it's very long. I'm just gonna sharpen it real quick. All right, so first thing, I'm gonna go ahead and establish a horizon line just to give us an idea of where this character is gonna be on the page. I'm gonna set it at about 1/3 of the way up from the bottom. Just go like that. And then as far as where the kangaroo is going to be, and by the way, horizon line is, that's the vanishing point in the distance, right? That's where the ground and the sky meet. Okay, so as far as where the kangaroo is going to be, I'm going to set just some little guidelines for myself, and they may not end up being meaningful, but the idea is good. But just to try and establish some boundaries of where I don't want to go past for this kangaroo character, about this far in, just to let him take up most of the page and make sure we don't start like over here and then end up trying to like squish the tail in to the side before we're done. So just right in the middle there. So for the kangaroo, I'm actually going to start a little bit inward though. Because I have an idea in mind of what I want him to be doing. So I'm going to start with the head a little bit inward. Just draw a little circle, about like that. And it can be rough here. You don't have to take all my talk about smooth, clean lines too seriously at this point. It can be as sketchy as you need it to be. So anyway, the next thing we're going to do is draw the line for the back. And that's, you can think of it as 3 different curved lines. I'm going to draw it all as one line, but talk about like where the separation would be. So first part's going to be the neck. I'm going to draw it kind of like that, coming down from the back of the circle like that. Next one's going to be for the back. Make that a larger curve. So if you looked at kangaroos, they kind of have that large hump on their back. And then I'm just going to continue that curve down into the tail. I might redraw that a little bit, let it dip down. Erase what we don't need. And then I'm just going to bring the tail back a little bit. We can change it later, but just to give you an idea, you're gonna let it thicken up quite a bit as it comes back. Something like that. Next thing is we're gonna draw some basic shapes for the body that we're gonna kind of fill in around. Next one's gonna be the rib cage. So that's gonna be an ellipse about here. About that size, a little bit bigger than the head. And if you notice, it's kind of tilted. It's not, it's not a straight on up and down ellipse. Ellipse and oval, basically the same thing. It connects at this point. If you were talking about straight up and down, it'd be something like here, right? And to be honest, my reason for that is I'm kind of just guessing on what the rib cage would do based on what I know about the human skeleton, because the human skeleton rib cage kind of like pokes outward that way. So just kind of following that logic. Next thing I'm going to do is draw a big shape for the belly. Something like that. Don't want it to be too big. Yeah, probably like that. I'm going to sharpen up a little bit. So now we have a pretty good basis for the body. The next things we're going to worry about are the limbs. And rather than just jumping straight into the shapes for the limbs, I'm going to do some gestures for them. So basically just the lines of where I want them to be. So for the legs, they're going to make kind of a zigzag. I'm going to start about back here, come up, sort of like that, not at too much of an angle. And then come down. I'm going to bring that line forward a bit, actually. And then bring the bottom part of the leg downward like this. And then I'll draw a little ellipse for the feet, for the foot there. We'll come back and fill that in for sure. But I'm going to go ahead and draw a line for the back leg too. We can't see as well. Just kind of mimicking that same shape. All right. I'm going to do the same thing for the arms. So I want him to be kind of waving at us with one arm kind of tucked behind him. So what I'm going to do is draw another sort of zigzag. One arm or one line going across the rib cage like that. And then coming back down about like that. Might make it go back a little further. And then draw the other arm coming up about like that. So you already got kind of a stick figure thing going. Now we can just fill in the shapes on top of it. So back to the leg. I'm going to draw a big ellipse that's kind of weighted on the back. It comes to more of a point at the end of the line there. Just kind of hint at the same thing on the other side. And then for the middle part of the leg, I'm going to draw something like a drumstick. It's hard to articulate what this shape is, but it basically curves around on the top and then curves the other way as it comes down. And then you might not even see that back line on the other leg, so you may not need to worry about it. And then for the long part, the bottom part of the leg, I kind of think of them as cylinders. Same for the forearm, like you'll see. There's not a lot you have to do with them. I kind of like to just give some curves to them, make them not seem like just, you know, straight cylinders. Okay, and we'll do the same for the arm. The main shape for the arm, kind of like the leg, is going to be that first muscle attached to the rib cage there, the shoulder. So I'm going to draw that. Kind of as some stretched ellipses. Then I'm going to go ahead and draw in the rest of the shape. Just keep that outside line going. For the forearm, I'm going to curve in from the top a little bit. Something like that. Same thing over here. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and connect the rest of the lines. So for the rib cage, you're going to have the line come inward before it meets the belly. And then come around to where we had the tail before. Just kind of follow one line. If you need to clean it up, like I'm doing now, that is okay. Yeah, something like that. You can probably bring the weighted part of the tail back inward a little bit. Kind of looks off balance that way. A little better. And then connect the neck up from the rib cage too. Okay, so I'm going to get into a little bit more of the complicated parts. I think let's start with the head and then we'll, well, no, let's do the hands and feet first. Hands and feet, paws, kangaroo paws, whatever you want to call them. So for the feet, the feet are going to be 3 ellipses that kind of come together. So if you think about the main part of it being one big ellipse, and then 2 smaller ellipses on the side for the smaller toes. Just from that, you can go ahead and connect the shapes. Draw some claws in. Really big claw for the middle toe. and then kind of weight the ellipse down at the bottom. There you go. Maybe a little more like that. That's basically what your kangaroo feet are going to look like. So we can do the same thing here. Just go ahead and draw little ellipses for the toes. Don't think we really need to worry about the ones that are on the other side from us. Don't think we're going to see them very well. So just kind of let those go. Draw some claws in. And just kind of build those shapes out in the same way, like I was talking about, weighting the ellipses a little bit closer to the claw. I might bring up a little bit more of a point at the top of the foot right there. And it doesn't hurt to go ahead and start cleaning up a little bit as you go, just so you can a little more clearly see what you got. Do the same thing back here. Okay, pretty good so far. Do I need to slow down? Is everybody good? Keeping up pretty well? Anybody want me to explain anything a little bit better?
Feel free if you need to unmute or write something in the chat. If you need, I know we've got a few folks even watching on Facebook Live, so that's really awesome. Thanks for letting us try something cool and new out. So yeah, feel free if people, and if you're feeling well too, put it in the chat. Give us some inspiring words or just something fun that you are excited about.
Yeah, absolutely. Just going ahead and cleaning up here a little bit more. We'll definitely do a lot more cleanup later, but just for now, we can see the legs a little bit better. That feels good. Okay. All right, so then for the hands, the four paws, gonna be kind of a squashed ellipse, or squashed circle, I guess I should say. And they're gonna have 5 fingers like us, but they're gonna be centered. So you're gonna have one big middle and then smaller ones on the sides. I might have drawn those a little close. It'll basically look like this. If you can just kind of imagine, you know, fingers being wider at the top and kind of like narrowing inward, kind of like your own fingers do as they get down to the knuckles. And you can draw little claws. And of course, you don't have to be drawing this. This is just me demonstrating what we should be thinking about. So I'm gonna keep that in mind for these. Go ahead and draw. I'm gonna kind of try and draw the fingers like overlapping a little bit. Like he's waving and it's not like, you know, completely outstretched fingers. I'm gonna draw those fingertips, something like that. There we go. There's that one. Same thing for this. I'm overlapping those shapes so you're not seeing all of one since it's being covered by the other. There we go. And I'm just trying to hint at the padding that's going on the hands a little bit. And if this is not completely anatomically accurate to kangaroos, I think that's okay. It's a cartoon kangaroo. I did notice from last time, Xanders, that I drew the ears. We'll get to those in a minute. I drew the ears a lot more like bunny ears last time. So we're gonna try and draw some ears that are closer to what kangaroos actually look like this time. Okay. All right, so then let's get to the head. So what we want to do with the circle that we've drawn is draw some crosshairs and cross lines across it like this. To give us an idea of where the head is angled exactly. So this means that he's looking this way, and the horizontal line is going to be about, you know, halfway up the circle. So from here, we're going to attach the snout to this point that we've drawn on. And the snout's going to be a little bit more complicated of a shape. It's going to be like a rectangle that has the top of it kind of pushed together, kind of like a Toblerone. Not exactly triangular, but something like that. So we're gonna attach that here and just start coming down. Don't want it to be too long. About there. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and erase some of that circle. Free up the space a little bit. I'm going to draw the nose, and the nose is going to be, if you're looking at it straight on, trapezoid kind of shape, like this. It has the nostrils coming in, kind of coming down around the side and in like this. So we'll keep that trapezoid shape in mind. Try to keep it kind of in the same perspective that we've got for the snout shape already. Draw the nostrils in. There we go. It's a pretty good nose so far. Okay. So next thing I'm going to do is think about the mouth. The mouth's going to part at the front, right? Like this. I'm going to draw him smiling, so it's going to part and then come back and then Come back kind of like that. Like smile, like what happens when you smile, your lips draw back and push your cheek back a little bit. So that's what we're trying to hint at. Don't want to overdo it, but just a little line there. And then you can just draw kind of what's happening here on the other side there. I'm going to draw the chin coming down. Go ahead and do a little fluff for the chin. And then just come back following that rectangle shape into the head. There we go. So from here, I'm going to erase this nose because it's going to be in the way. From here, I'm going to draw the eyes. I'm going to draw just some really light circles to begin with. Sticking about halfway onto this horizontal line that I've drawn. Draw the pupils in. Might go ahead and make that a little lighter. I'm going to draw the top line. And the bottom line. And then some eyebrows. There we go. If you can't see that too well, I know it's a little zoomed out. Something like that. Hope that's a little clearer. But what we're doing is we're drawing a circle for the eyes, basically the eyeball. You're drawing the pupil where you want it to be. And then you're drawing where the eyelids come down over it. Now, of course, this is not what kangaroo eyes look like. Kangaroo eyes are very big and black, but for cartoon's sake, we'll leave it like this. All right, so that's kind of what you're doing with the eye there. So next thing, I'm gonna keep the line from the head coming up. Gotta add the ears now. So what I've done before was just kind of had them drawn them like that. And that's not what they actually look like. They're gonna be much more, they're gonna be shorter, and they're going to have a definite outward curve to them. More like that. There we go. And then you can kind of draw the inside like that. Actually, I'm not sure you'd see that. Probably more like this. And then you can draw a little fuzz coming out just like that. Okay. Clean these shapes up a little bit. We don't need the rectangle anymore. Oh, don't know what that was. Sorry about that. Okay. So when we get rid of the lines that we don't need anymore, and when we kind of connect the shapes a little better, we've pretty much got our kangaroo.
That looks incredible.
Thank you.
Folks, in a minute, we can we can show our videos again if we want to show off what we've created, if you feel good about it, or you can show off your, you know, anything that you've created, and would love to see it. So feel free as you're kind of finishing up erasing lines and or doing what you're doing, you can take yourself off of hidden video and just add your video back and we can join back.
Yeah, and we can keep going with adding some more elements if we want to.
Yeah, sorry, Josh. I totally cut you off short then. Keep going, keep going.
No, totally fine. It's up to how much everybody wants to do. Once we've got the kangaroo itself, we can go a number of ways. I will go ahead and add some fluff, some little fluff details. So I'm going to erase little bits, like on the elbow there. And then on the chest. Something like that. One thing I do like to do is go ahead and add a backpack if we want to stick to the school theme. So to do that, you're going to want to think about a basic like rounded rectangle shape sitting on the back. And let's see, get rid of this. It's going to be in kind of this perspective. Where you can see the top a little bit. So you might draw through just lightly what you've already got. Just draw it sitting on the back there. All right. I'm going to draw the strap coming up and over the shoulder. Like this. And draw the little buckle and straps coming down. And then draw the bottom part of the strap curving around the arm into the bottom of the backpack there. And flatten out the top of the strap there. And then can draw the handle in. Think about it attaching right here. Kind of blowing in the wind a little bit, like the ears. And then I'm going to draw the zipper coming down. And then the bottom part of the backpack there. I might want to move my handle back a little bit so it doesn't run right into the zipper. And there we go. ready for school. Okay. Well, we've got 15 minutes. How are you guys feeling about what we've got? Is there anything you want specifically to add to this? For the last one, we did some rendering, we did some shading. If you want to get into that, we absolutely can.
Yeah, folks, feel free if you want to share, unmute. Josh, sorry I cut you off there earlier. I was like, oh, we're good. And then I forgot that you put an awesome, super awesome backpack on it.
Oh, no problem.
Hey, Kim, I think you have to turn our cameras back on since you turned them off.
Oh, there we go. That's fun. Ask to start video. Did it work?
Yep.
Oh, no. I think I said, if you all want to now, you all have the opportunity to. So feel free if you want to show.
This would be the time, like I was saying earlier, if you want to go back through with some darker lines, make the outline pop, you certainly can.
Grace, show us yours. It looked like you were about to hold it up.
Oh, no. Let's see. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Nice.
It looks like a kangaroo. It's not the best, so you can tell what it is.
Very nice.
Donna, did you make one?
Yes. Here it is. Looks
Nice.
like a little deformed.
I love it.
Yay.
It looks meaner.
I'll share mine. It's
Very nice.
not,
Beautiful.
I don't like the face. Your face is so much better, Josh, but oh well.
It's hard. The face is the hardest part.
Xanders, how did yours turn out?
I feel like I could have done the face a little bit better too, but if this thing will let me, there we go.
There we go.
Oh, look
Nice.
at the shading.
Look at the what?
Shading? Did you not shade its tummy? No?
Oh, I've been doing that, but
Looks good.
Awesome.
Kim, did you
Great.
draw with us?
I was kind of moderating and then helping with something else that was happening. So I didn't get to do it this time, but it's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So we should, if we can put them all up, we can take a little picture. So I'm just gonna really quickly just close it on Facebook and say goodbye to that. And then Sam will take a picture. So hold on, stop live stream. Bye everybody. To learn more about, oh wait, Josh, do you want to really quick before you do the photo, do you want to, before I close the live stream, do you want to just talk about your work or anything more about all the cool things that you do as a designer?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I've done a little design work for the International Center for SI, which is part of my ASM job as well. So a little bit of graphic design there. I have an Instagram. It's at BigSW Draws. If you want to check that out. To be honest, I haven't updated it as much as I should recently. I've been very busy, but it's there. Yeah, that's it for me.
Awesome. All right, I'm gonna close the live